Leipold. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Start here with Henry.
Just after how so many fourth quarters have gone this year, just I guess what was different about this one? What were the emotions like after you pulled it?
Well, we found a way this time. It was, even from the punt recovery, it was the same. I said something to the officiating crew. It's the same crew we had at Illinois when we had the chance for the recovery. That was a muff, and they got the ball back. It ended up being a big play. This one went our way. Able to punch it in. We found a way to get some stops defensively. At times when we had trouble slowing them down, we tightened up a couple different times for some key plays. Able to get the fourth down stop there at the end and found a way to run the clock out.
What were the emotions like in the locker room?
It's a pretty excited group right now. They're very excited, very proud of them. We talked about it before, Henry, what a long season this has been and disappointing in so many ways and frustrating for this group. But the thing that you've heard me say many weeks in a row is that this group is stuck together and continued to work, and it truly has. I'm very proud of the way they've done it, the way our leadership has really led this team, our coaching staff, and the job that they've done. And for us to get back-to-back victories over ranked teams says a lot about that and where it's at. And again, to get one on the road in this environment is extremely difficult. And again, we found a way against an excellent football team.
BYU in their opening drive came out, burned up like 10.5 minutes off the clock, but you guys held them to a field goal.
Yeah.
How much did it matter to hold them to a field goal?
Huge.
After a long
It was a lot. Yeah, it didn't seem like it was going to ever end, and it was a long drive. Where is that? I want to find that.
Over 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes and 26 seconds. That might be one of the longest drives I've seen in my career, almost 17 plays. But to hold them to that field goal was huge. And you say it was a defensive struggle for both, a battle, I guess, for both teams here in the second half. And again, statistically, our yardage and things weren't very eye-popping, but we found a way when we needed to.
What were your thoughts on the atmosphere here, just the fans, the environment playing here?
Well, we had heard, and Jeff Grimes, after working here a couple times and talking to a couple other conference coaches, talked about that this is one of the more difficult environments in our conference. I think it truly played out to be that way. It's a great environment. You have to, I tip my hat to the fan base and the atmosphere that they create and the energy that they bring, and it makes it a very difficult place to communicate and operate at times, and it was truly a factor, and again, that's something that makes it even more pleasing that we're able to overcome it.
What do you credit to overcoming that kind of disadvantage with the crowd?
Well, again, it's things you work on all week long. We talked about different ways to use our snap count. You do things, you work on it, you challenge your guys, you find different ways, and again, we've got a pretty good veteran group offensively that and starting at the quarterback position, he doesn't get rattled and he just keeps battling. And I thought he handled it all pretty well, especially because we were backed up most of that second half, operating out of that area.
Mello had that interception right before halftime when they driven down to the 5. How important was it to keep him off the scoreboard at that juncture?
Well, as you can see, it was a huge play, and for Mello to make another big play like that, was big. They elected to throw the fade route, and he made a play to get the turnover, especially with I'm sure they were aggressive in mindset, knowing that they had the ball coming out the second half. But as you try to, a lot of everybody talks about those, the middle 8 minutes of a ball game, and we, when you look at it, to come up with an interception and hold them to a field goal where there's probably opportunities for 2 touchdowns was probably a big telling point of this game.
With the quick kick with Jalen punting, how often do you guys practice that? How did you decide it was the right time to do that?
We practice it every Thursday, and it's been something in my head coaching career, I think I've used it. We've done it every Thursday since I've been a head coach, and I think we've done it 3 times. And 2 of them have worked out really, really well, and this was one of them. So it's something that we've worked on. It's something to have in just in case. Obviously, we didn't plan on it working the way it played out there, but it was huge, and Again, Quentin Skinner, who's on the punt team to begin with, does a great job covering things, was really aware of the situation, landing on the ball.
Lance, is that the separation in this league, that bounce of the ball from 1 to 16?
It's probably a great example of what it is right now, because we, like was asked earlier, we've been on the wrong side of those so much this year, but as you can say, we've said it to our guys for all along, and those of you that hear me on a regular basis talk about 3 to 5 plays that determine a game, and we could all probably name the 3 to 5 in this one that were huge, that probably could have swung the game either direction. And that's why I have such great respect for the BYU program in Solana, Kentucky, and the job that he's done. They're still right in the thick of playing for a conference championship, and I can see why they've had the year that they've had compared to where they were last year. Just the improvements that they made holistically. I think he's got this program in a great spot.
Going into the 2-minute warning, they had 1st and 10 on the 15. How was the defense kind of able to get out of that unfavorable situation? What was it like during the 2-minute warning?
Well, again, we talked about trying to, we burned our timeouts thinking that if they were going to score that we needed some time to have and not to bank the timeout, so we had some times. But again, they did, we had and they may try to run it twice, and then the penalty gave us some room to work with, and we were able to make the play and came up with some good solid tackles. Probably some more better tackling that we had done was in those later part of those drives, so it was huge to see.
Anything else for Coach Leipold? All right. Thanks,
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.